finally understand it now that they see him play, all right? Evan Mobley, and I hate to use this cliche term, he's literally built different. He's a different type of athlete than you see in the NBA frequently. He is as big as Kevin Durant. He moves with the agility and the deftness of a player like Kevin Durant. The difference between him and KD is just that their offense and defensive skills at a base level are swapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, Evan Mobley is a freak of nature. He's a force of nature. That's what I kept saying, is why I was so high on him coming into the draft. I feel like the skills are underrated, but I'll get to that in a second. The real deal with Mobley is that he is everything people want a defender to be wrapped into one. He is the whole package defensively. He's Rudy Gobert, except he can guard the perimeter. It's what I said to you on draft night. You do not get players like Evan Mobley who are as big as he is, as talented as he is with the ball. Because the thing, too, is that once you get past that defense, you start looking at some of the other skills. Like, one thing I think people are already taking notice of is his playmaking. Like, his passing ability is ridiculous for a 7-footer. And I think that, like, it just goes to show that the skill set of some of these young dudes is changing drastically. Like, he's clearly not the first big guy to be a good passer in recent history. We have, I mean, maybe the greatest passing big of all time is in the league right now in Jokic. And there's other good passing bigs in the league besides Jokic as well. So it's not like Mobley's one of a kind in that sense, but it's definitely above average already. Already it is. Like, you look at him, and this is my biggest thing with Mobley, okay? And it's purely, and maybe this is where I start to sound like an analytics guy, right? But I think you put Mobley on a court and you line him up next to all the other centers and power forwards in the league, right? And you say, I want to see what you could do defensively. There's maybe 3 guys matching him, maybe, right? You look at him offensively with the ball, passing the ball. There's only a few guys that are up there already, realistically, because you can take centers from a lot of teams and say, what is this guy's real skill offensively? There's not a lot of them, you know? There's some that are really good at certain things, but there's not a lot of whole packages as far as bigs in the league right now. There's only a handful of them. So I look at Mobley and I say, this guy's only 20. He's only 20, and he hasn't really played very high-level competition for long. Like, he played at USC in the what are they? The Pac-10?
Pac-12. Pac-12. Okay, come on, Pete.
I don't watch them. Let's get out of here. They're bums. I'm kidding. I'm being very harsh. There's a lot of great players in the Pac-12. That being said, it is definitely like, it's college basketball, Pac-12, maybe not the highest level competition, and he's playing for USC with not the greatest teammates.
Yeah.
I think that threw a lot of people off the scent. They see just a big guy who can kind of run with the guys, but you're seeing it in the league right now. He is actually in real time adjusting to the speed of the league at a rate that other big guys just don't do this. Like, Anthony Davis is literally the last big I've seen jump into the league this quickly and be like, wow, he's a difference maker. That's the last guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of watching, I know a lot of people actually did compare Evan Mobley to Anthony Davis at some points in the draft. I think that was kind of some draft comparisons on people's list. But I think the thing that surprises me more so is like how agile he. Like, I watched the Pac-12 because I'm a Pac-12 junkie. I'm a Utah fan. Unfortunately, we do have to watch the Pac-12 as they beat each other up every day in football. But just basketball-wise, watching it throughout the regular season, seeing kind of like the hype, because he was one of those guys that's like, okay, this guy, he's going to be a top 5 pick. And it's like, okay, let's see what the hype is. And, I saw his defensive ability. I saw the way he moves the court, and I was like, okay, I could see him being like a top 5 pick, but what is his offensive production doing? And, right now he's doing a pretty solid job. 3-point wise, not the best, but I still think that's an area of improvement that he can make, these years coming on. He seems like a kid that I think has a good head on his shoulders and will continue to work on his game and elevate it to a level where, he wants to be at that Anthony Davis-esque level. But what really impresses me more about him is I feel like he's strong enough and quick enough to keep up, like you said, with the NBA guys. He's not too skinny for the NBA just yet. I still think
Yeah.
he still needs to grow into his grown man body. Um, but I like what I'm seeing from Evan Mobley right now. I'm liking, his rookie year. He's looking pretty good. Shooting 76% from the free throw line is huge for any big. That means that you could be on the court a lot longer. You get fouled,
Hmm.
and you get to shoot those free throws, and that's something that's very important as it pertains to like big men and being able to stay on the court the whole time.
And
Again, the
and not
only
to jump in too
okay,
much,
yeah,
but just like that direct correlation too with the free throws early on, your free throw percentage is directly tied to like your shooting ability long term, right?
mm-hmm.
And there's already like you can see there's a baseline. This guy can shoot a three, like pretty nice. Like he's got a pretty good shot. Um, but I mean that's a good sign. Keep going. I'm sorry. I was just saying that I think his shooting's only going to get better too.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I was gonna say is like I don't think he's shying away from the moment, and he's working in this sort of big man's rotation that the Cavaliers have concocted when they were building their rosters for this regular
Yeah.
season, which is again not something I would normally do, but so far it seems to be kind of okay at this point. Again, we'll see as the season continues, but so far, Evan Mobley's looking like the best rookie out here. Out of the obviously out of the top 3 picks.
See, I would say as confident as I was in Mobley, right? And I'm not even just saying this just to be a bragger. That's not what I'm saying. I really am not surprised by Mobley very much. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
kind of what I expected. I legitimately told you guys on this stream I would bet him defensive player of the year this rookie season. And I feel even better about that now. If he just keeps getting better and stays healthy, it's possible. Genuinely, it is. Moving past that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm I think I was a lot higher on this guy than you were, but I'm genuinely impressed still, even though I had him pretty high in Scotty Barnes. Like
Scotty Barnes, yep. We
like
could talk about him as well.
he is not far behind Mobley. He is a leader. That kid is a leader. He is a dog, dude. I love the um how do I say it? I just like the total package
The
that Scotty
chutzpah.
Barnes seems to bring to a winning team. Like I think he's a winning player inherently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's just me though.
I mean, the thing I will say about Scotty Barnes, obviously, like I was kind of like they should have taken Jalen Suggs, and obviously Jalen Suggs right now is struggling in
Yes.
Orlando, which is kind of I think expected just with the way that Orlando's roster shaped. It's like he's basically on an island by himself. But not to take away from Scotty Barnes, the only thing that concerned me was like, okay, I never thought that he was going to be like a bad player. My only concern was more so the fit. Like, you have Pascal Siakam, who I didn't know was really injured at the time. Should have done a little bit more research, so that's on me.
They
But
kept it they kept it kind of under wraps a little bit, I think too.
yo, what's up, Tyrese? You want to join this call, or you working right now?
Dude, my chat isn't working.
I see Tyrese he just chatted, so it should pop up soon. But yeah, I look at a guy like Scotty Barnes as well. I didn't expect this sort of offensive explosion that we got here. I knew he was going to be defensively. I knew he was going to be really good. And I expected that from him, but offensively, I didn't know that this was, his game. And so it's awesome to see that he's improving. He's really making his name out in the league. I do want to see a little bit better of a 3-point percentage.
Yes, yeah. That I mean, see, that's the one thing about Scotty. I think that was like a for sure thing, right? The
Mhm.
shooting needed to improve. Like he was coming in with a pretty poor baseline. Um, but that being said, it's just all the other intangible things. And I mean, dude, look at freaking Toronto. Like they found their guy, and
Mhm.
I think they stuck the landing like hardcore. Like if you
Yeah.
look at how much hate they got on draft night for skipping over Jalen Suggs. Like this is like a steal. Like the one thing we going over to Jalen Suggs for just a second, and I'm not gonna harp on the kid too much. Like his team is bad, right? The team
Mhm.
is not good. That being said, it does concern me a bit to see like I think Cole Anthony just looks better. Just better. And I know he's like a year in, like he's got the year's worth of experience, right? And it was a crazy year at that too. So it was kind of like trial by fire. So not trying to take too much away from Cole Anthony either, because he was coming in, I feel like, with a pretty a pretty big gap in quality in terms of where people found Jalen Suggs to be in the pecking order versus where in Cole Anthony's draft he was located. He has been stellar, and I think maybe more than anything for Jalen Suggs, it's just how many guards are on that team, dude. There's so much clutter. Because like Franz Wagner has been pretty solid in the regular season. Like he's actually been one of the better rookies, I think, in a pretty stacked rookie class. He's been one of the better. It's just his position on that team is so much less cluttered. Like there's so many in Orlando right now, and a lot of them are very average to slightly above average. So it doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room for Jalen Suggs to have his missteps. So he's in a tough spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll come out of this. I think shooting is definitely something that a lot of players need to get adjusted to. It seems like all the rookies are struggling from 3-point land. They're all struggling, even just around the 2-point land, but more so the 3. I think the 3, just because of how vital it is now to be able to be versatile in that sense. I'm curious to see how he kind of develops and grows again. I think he can be a little bit too at times like a football guy and just try to ram his head and try to just do things to just go score and do his stuff. But again, I really like what I'm seeing more like from Scottie Barnes. Like you said, Scottie Barnes has really impressed me. I've been really impressed with Evan Mobley. And Kade Cunningham, there's another player we can kind of talk about a little bit too. Coming back from injury. I know a lot of people are gonna kind of freak out that he's basically shooting terribly right now.
It's awful. It's
18%, 18%, 3-point percentage wise, he's shooting less than 10. But I don't think I'm concerned as much about him, just because I think he's coming back from the injury, and I think he's still going to be an effective player. So I'm not really worried too much. Again, I want to see him 2 or 3 months into the season, and then I can start making my judgment on him and figuring out if he's really someone that is a guy that could take it to the next level, or is he a guy that kind of is going to be more of a chill role player that helps out a team instead of being like the number one guy.
Yeah, like weirdly enough, I'm really not that down on Kade, even though you look at those percentages and it's like, oh my gosh, like what are we? This is like we're looking at me. I made it to the league for 3 games, and that's my stats. Like maybe, But that being said, like even though I had Mobley 1, like Kade was right there. He's number 2, and like the one thing with him that I'm actually really impressed with so far is, dude, he is aggressive. Like he does not care. He does not care. And the thing that I like about that is it reminds me a lot of Westbrook, like young Westbrook. And pause for a second, right? I know you get weird when people say Westbrook nowadays. I mean Westbrook in the sense of just the attitude, the demeanor of I am going to dominate you tonight. And if it doesn't go right, guess what? I'm still coming for you. I'm still going to come for you the whole game. I'm going to shoot 20 times. The difference is Kade has the upside shooting potential, and it seems maybe the demeanor where he's going to really try and focus on that. And if he can truly get better at it with this level of aggression, I mean, this dude might be one of the league's like leading scorers in a few years. Like if he can improve that shooting percentage. I like that. I like it. I mean, that's one of my biggest things with rookies. Like, I feel like it's kind of an easy sign that a rookie maybe is not going to make it like until a little, like you look at even like a good player like Sabonis, right? If you go back and look at his first couple years in the league, he was afraid. He was afraid to play with big dudes. And then he kept working and he got really solid, right? Yeah. But he was really afraid and he was not good for a few years. So I like that. Tyrese, what's up?
What's up, man? How you guys doing?
Good, bud. Good. Welcome in.
Good. Thank you. I hear you guys talking about Kade. I haven't really got to see much of Kade, but I did see a few highlights. He does look very aggressive. I think he will be fine. He just needs to settle in a lot, He just started, so I'll give it 30 games in. I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year, possibly. Wow. Yeah, I think he's going to storm back. I know Scottie Barnes is doing really well right now, but I think he just came back off of his injury. So I give it 30 games. I think he's going to be
Yeah, he didn't
averaging.
even get a preseason, so
Yeah, he
I
didn't
mean
get a
it's something.
preseason. Yeah, he's probably gonna have, you never know, a 50-point game for all we know
I
one
mean, if
night
he
in.
keeps shooting 20 times a game, it's definitely possible. It definitely is.
Exactly. And then from there, he can have a 40-point night, and then, he has a couple 30s. And
Yeah, that's the thing.
next
That
thing
team
you
is
know, he's
so bad.
averaging 20, 21
Mhm.
points. And it's like, wow, is he so much further off from Cade? You know what I'm
I
saying? Because
mean,
they're looking at the points per game, they're not looking at the whole pie.
yeah,
These guys
I
are.
would love to see what was I gonna say? I would love to see Detroit trade Jeremy Grant and just let Cade just have the team. Just be like, hey, we're not trying to be terrible. We're gonna try and win games with you, but
Mhm.
we also need to clear up shots because you're our guy, right? He needs to hit some of these early
Mhm.
ones before
Yeah,
they do something like that. But Jeremy
yeah,
Grant is just too much of a shot taker to have on a team with a young guy like this.
yeah, I agree. I think, but the thing with Detroit is, man, I remember I think it was 2019, they were holding on to him for dear life after he was beasting. I think he was averaging like 27 a game. Um,
Yeah, that was
they were
last
asking,
season. That was last
yeah, oh,
season. Yeah.
last season. Okay, yeah, they were asking for the farm. Boston was in some talks. I think the Knicks were. They didn't want to give him up. They were asking like
Mhm.
Anthony Davis level prices.
Yeah, but
Um,
see, there's a difference this year. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to smell some blood in the water. If you look at
mhm.
like the Lakers and the Nets right now, looking a little
Yep,
hobbled and old,
yep.
there's going to be a team that wants a guy like Jeremy Grant, like a 25 a night on a bad night kind of guy.
To rally back the team.
Yeah, you never know. It could even be like a team like Toronto. Like I know that's a weird one, but they could use a guy like that. Just come in and just give him some buckets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder what his contract is.
It's pretty high for a player of his.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, it's
he just signed it a couple of years ago. That
it
was
was
like,
last offseason, yeah.
yeah. So
Oh
he's in
wow.
there for a long time. I think they'll probably either move him this year or next year. We got Justin in the chat. Yo, what up, Justin? How you doing, man?
Justin, what's up, my
Aston, what's
guy?
up, man?
But yeah, kind of going back to your original point, Pete, about kind of like players, Sabonis. I think Lonzo is another example, and someone probably
100%.
someone that Cade could probably look to as like, okay, I'm not really playing well, but if I can just go the Lonzo route, we saw, the way that he, grew, had his grown man body now, playing with the Chicago Bulls, being part of that catalyst to actually be part of, winning basketball in Chicago again. I know Justin will
Yeah.
love that one. I just think that's something that you're going to see from Cade, and maybe that's something that he needs to do. Obviously, I think Cade's a little bit, I don't know if girthier is the right word, but he's a little. He's,
I don't know if that's it, my man.
He has more
he
body
has-
mass to him.
yeah, he has more body mass to him.
He's built the Motor City way.
he's he's built for tough. Let's say that he's built for
Oh,
tough.
man.
So it's kind of one of those things I look at, with a guy like Cade, and I think he'll be just fine. Like you said, give him about 30 games, give him about 40 games, then we can really assess these rookies. Like, okay, this guy might be a flop, this guy might be successful. Because again, Scotty Barnes is doing good right now, but I'm curious to see once OG and Pascal are finally back in the rotation, playing the minutes that they're used to be playing, especially when they paid Pascal the money that they did. It's like, okay, you got to do something on the court. I understand.
OG is back. Him and Scotty are nice together, dude. OG has been really good. I mean, talk about
yeah.
most improved possibilities. Like, geez,
Yeah.
that guy he's a
Oh,
stud.
I mean, Scotty Barnes just gives me Colin Saxton vibes.
Oh, he's so much better. He's so much better.
Like as far as being a great scorer on that team, because they have
Mm.
really nobody. I mean, Van Fleet, he's in. I think they're gonna trade Van Fleet.
Nah,
Pascal.
yeah,
No.
I mean, I agree with you, but Van Vliet he's too important to Toronto. I don't think they can trade him.
I just it's weird to say, but I just think he's not going crazy because he knows he's probably going to be leaving, and they're not going to be contending.
Maybe.
So,
I mean, I think the simplest thing is like if he's your leading scorer, are you really like a contender? Like probably not. You know,
you
like,
mean
Van Vliet.
Scotty?
Like if
Oh,
Van Vliet right now is Van Vliet's their guy, right? He's number one. He's the number one scorer on that team. Like he's the guy. Like I don't know if this is a team that's going to make a lot of moves, but I do think Scotty is like a huge. Like you look at the difference between just their attitude as a team from last season to this season, and I think they're back in Toronto, right?
Yes, they're back in Toronto
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I think having like a young, like revitalizing type of leader on your team, like I think that's a huge deal. Like I I hate to say this, like I be honest with you boys, I bet Mobley to win Rookie of the Year. I genuinely think there's a pretty good chance that it's going to be Scotty Barnes. He just has all the qualities of
Yeah.
like he's a star. He really is. I don't
I
know,
mean,
man.
he's averaging 13, 15, 11, 11, 5 and 2 today so far. I mean,
It's
we'll see, man.
all
Like
It's all the stuff on the court. I'm telling you, watch him. Just watch the way he talks to the guys on the team and like when they rally around him. Like I just watched him play the Knicks,
Mhm.
and dude, I mean the Knicks are good this year. I'm not
Oh
even
yeah,
just saying
yeah.
that
You
as a
guys are
fan.
good. Yeah.
They beat the brakes off the Knicks the other night. Like it was like the score didn't tell the whole story. It was like they really did kind of beat them up most of the game. And Scotty Barnes was, I mean, out there
Giving it to
dictating
you.
what they're doing. I mean, it was crazy. It was really impressive to me.
I'm just curious to see how he's going to react with Pascal returning next week.
Yeah.
If that's going to mess up the flow, and
Mhm.
that's a 20 PPG guy. So when
Mhm.
you're adding somebody like that, and that rookie's going to be out of rhythm. So I'm curious to see, because I'm not giving up on Kade. I think with the hype and the number one pick overall,
Mhm.
he was the leading scorer in college, I think, right? He just has a favoritism, I think, to where if he puts on, a couple
Oh yeah.
35-point game, or he won for 40, he has the ability to go for 40. They have
Oh, for
nobody.
sure.
They have
I
nobody.
mean,
So
it's all about narrative in these
yeah,
awards. It's
yeah, because all these
yeah.
guys, yeah, in the NBA boards, they care about ratings, right? People don't know who Scotty Barnes. I didn't even know who
Yeah.
Scotty was. I'm gonna be real with you. But I knew who
But yeah,
Cade
before
was
the
because,
draft. Yeah,
yeah,
for
before the
sure.
draft, because they weren't marketing him like that. He was a
No,
sleeper,
no.
But I knew who Cade was just because ESPN was promoting him.
I
It's
mean,
all
but
about
then
promotion and marketing.
look at this
Um,
man. Bernie's already ahead of the game. Look at this
Yeah.
next man.
I was
Tell
gonna
us
say
about this guy, Bernie.
I was
This
gonna
is the guy
say
right here.
this is another guy that again, there's always a narrative that a lot of people try to go for the young rookies, the guys that are 19, 20 years old, but then you have a guy like Chris Duarte again, playing very solid at the age of 24. Obviously, a very older rookie than a lot of people would like. A lot of people are worried about it, but Chris Duarte, I'm really, this is the guy that most like impressed me the most. Because I was looking at it for Indiana, I was like, yeah, I mean, you got Chris Duarte. I know the hype about him is real. I know the Knicks could probably have used him. I think he would have been a great fit for you guys.
Oh my gosh, if he had slipped to 19, are you kidding me? Now looking at the guy there, like I was at the time, like at 19, wow, that's a pretty great value right there, right? He
but
seems
you
like
guys
he's
have RJ, so it's
holy,
like,
I mean, dude, he would slip right onto the team. This guy,
yeah.
this is the thing I'll say about Duarte that's the most impressive to me. You could put this dude on any single team in the NBA, and he is a valuable rotation player. Any team in the league. There's no team you could come up with where they couldn't use a guy like this.
Who
There's
would you
no team.
compare him to?
Honestly, he's like, I don't think he's anywhere in the stratosphere of as good as this guy, but who knows? Who knows long term? I just think the age kind of hurts the upside value long term. Like, I think we're seeing this guy kind of close to maybe he's getting up there, right? Near his
Mhm.
peak. I think he's like Clay Light. Like, he's kind of got a lot of similar, like, tendencies. Like, he's a bucket. If you give Duarte the ball, he's ice cold. It's going in if you need it to go in. That's Clay
He
to me. And
he he
he can guard people too. That's the thing I didn't know. I didn't know that.
he
I
kind
didn't
of
know that.
gives me Duncan Robinson
Nah, he's
shooting
better.
vibes.
He's already better than Duncan is, in my
Oh
opinion.
yeah, yeah. As far as defense and everything, I'm just saying, like, his shot
Yeah.
and everything, like his step back, it looks identical to Duncan. Like when he tries to step, his comparison would probably be Duncan Robinson. And let me try to think. Man, he has the same type of form and everything. That's crazy. He looks nice, so I'm looking at some film of him now.
Oh, he's in.
Yeah.
Another guy. I just watched them. I mean, mind you, Miles Turner had the 3-point shooting game of his life against the Knicks the other night. But Chris Duarte, dude, I've watched a weird amount of the Pacers because I think they're actually kind of good. Like, I think this is like a weird sleeper, kind of like
Oh yeah, they
maybe
are.
4 or 5 seed type of team in the East.
Hmm.
I mean, Duarte is legit. He is a very good player. He's another guy that's like right there. He has a chance.
Mm.
And, you know, Bernie and I remember we talked about this for quite a bit on our draft night stream. Like, if you're talking fit for a rookie, like, I know I said he could fit on any team, but he went to the team with the coach that he was meant to play with. Like Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, Carlisle.
He was made for Rick Carlisle. This is the only rookie Rick Carlisle has ever liked and ever will like, other than Luka Doncic. And Luka is a freak. So
even then, I don't think he liked Luka that much.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think he likes Duarte. I think he likes Duarte way more than Luka. I agree.
But the thing with Duarte is that the reason why Rick Carlisle, I was just gonna say, like, the thing that they like about him is the fact that he is an older rookie, someone that understands his role and isn't gonna try to outdo any of the guys on this team. Right? He's probably similar age to some of these guys already, if not, you know, maybe a couple years younger. Whereas, like, if he's coming at like 21, 22, he's, you know, the young guy gonna try and do too much. And that's the thing that really impresses me about Duarte, is just the fact that his maturity level is just already there. And I think it kind of goes to show you that the narrative of trying to draft guys that are 24 is like a negative. It's just preposterous.
It's really not.
Depending on where you are in the draft, right? I mean, at 19, they got a guy that really fits their system. The only thing is, I wish that they would have drafted. I still think they need some sort of like forward play, maybe even some guard. And I think this team would actually be pretty good. I think you're right, Pete. I think they'll probably be like a fifth seed team.
This is the Pacers we should have seen last year, honestly, because I think if we went back to our last season, Bernie, I thought they were like the fourth or fifth best team last season going in. And now they actually have a coach that has a head on his shoulders. All the players don't hate his guts from day one. And they're actually kind of trying to play. So, I mean, this is a good team, dude. There's a lot of talent. Like you said, Duarte, like, he's definitely not the youngest guy on the team. Like, I think Karis LeVert is like his age. You know, there's a couple dudes right there.
You think they can be as high as a fifth seed?
I think, honestly, they can be the 4th seed. I think they're legitimately.
Really?
I think they're legitimately
like
good.
Bulls prediction at the earlier this year.
I think. I'm gonna get some hate for this. I think they're better than the Bulls. I'll be frank.
Wow.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not sure about that. But...
They would probably only win like one game, I think, if they played the Pacers.
I think their team is more well-rounded. I'm just being dead serious. I just think they are.
I mean, I think they're better coached, but I just don't think they have all-around better talent. I mean, they got some guys, man. They got Lonzo. They have.
I don't think Brogdon's that far off Lonzo. I know you guys love Lonzo. I like Lonzo too. Brogdon is like borderline all-star.
No, yeah, he really is. I'm not a Lonzo fanboy. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, they would get mollywop, man. Like,
I'm just saying I think it's closer than you think. If you were to go player to player, Sabonis is. I mean, are we going to pretend Sabonis and Levine, like, I know they play different positions and very differently. Are they really that far off if you were to rank them head to head? Like, honestly, I think Sabonis is better than Levine. That's my opinion.
They don't have a DeMar, though. They don't have a guy who can get you fouls and get to the line.
I mean, who knows? What's Duarte in 6 months? What is he? I'm not saying he's going to be like he's an all-star himself, but if he's averaging 17 a night. That's a lot of points for a rookie. That's a lot of points.
But I will say this, Pete. I'll say this. Like, I think the fact that you have Lonzo, you have all these guys there for the Chicago Bulls really opens up a guy like Levine to not be the primary ball handler. And I think when you do that, that's why Zach LaVine is like in MVP discussions right now. I know it's early in the season. I know it's only been like a week or 2 weeks almost, but he's still in the conversation because, you know, he's able to elevate his game. So I think the big thing for me when it comes to, you know, the Pacers right now is I still think they're missing a couple of players, and they should have won a couple of those games that they dropped. We'll see. But again, we'll see what happens with the Pacers. Again, I'm a big fan of Duarte, and I think that they'll be good, man. I think that the Pacers right now are, you know, with on the back of Sabonis, like, if they continue to play well, I could see them maybe trying to lure a free agent to come in and maybe be a difference maker. You know, we're probably not going to get the TJ Warren, you know, revival that I think a lot of people were expecting. Bubble Warren.
Hey, you might have just stolen my thunder a little bit. All right, just hear me out, okay? And I'm not going to get on the TJ Warren is going to come back and be all-star. That's not
All
what I'm going
star.
to say. Not what I'm going to say. I'm saying once TJ Warren does come back, though, on paper, you have borderline 5 20-point per game scorers on this team. Borderline. There are not a lot of teams in the entire league that can say that. You have Sabonis, you have Brogdon, you have Karis LeVert, you have Duarte, who's not far off, and then you have TJ Warren. All of those dudes could average 20. And it's not even like a ugly 20 by any of them. TJ Warren is a little close to an ugly 20. However, the other 4, I mean, you're talking pretty solid scorers on a like I don't think the Bulls have that. And I don't think they're as far off on defense as people think they are. The one thing to give Levine credit where credit is due, he has been so much better defensively since the Olympics. Like, he was really solid on D in the whole Olympics, like maybe even borderline the best defensive player other than Drew Holiday. That being said, he's carried it into this regular season. He is a better defender than he has ever been in his whole life of playing basketball that I've watched. So I give him credit. Like, Zach LaVine really only has gotten better, and I can be a bit of a hater on him. I just need to see him win anything. That's my whole thing. I need to see him win even like enough games in the regular season to feel like it's winning. You know, that's my thing. Same with Lonzo. Same with Lonzo. Same with all the guys on the Bulls. Even DeMar, borderline.
I called this at the beginning of the year. I said I'm very bullish on the Bulls. It looks very good on paper, but I just knew their playing styles would work very well together. The guys you're naming on the Pacers, it's like, okay, yeah, you got 4 20-point scores, but if they're all starting, who's coming off your bench?
Yeah.
And do those guys know how to play? Do those guys know how to play together?
I didn't even count Miles Turner. Miles Turner hit 7 3-pointers in a game, and he's one of the best defensive players in the league. That's a lot of players.
I just think TJ Warren's very ball dominant.
I just used his name. I could honestly get rid of him. Just use Miles Turner. He's a 20-point night scorer.
Okay, yeah. You can use Miles, but they're not better. They're not better than the Bulls. They can't slow the game down. They don't have a Zach LaVine, Alonzo who can 3 and D. They don't have a DeMar who can draw, or Zach LaVine who can get buckets. Alex Caruso who can slash and pass.
I mean, Alex, can we give credit where credit is due? I mean, I told Bernie. I can tell you for a fact, I remember arguing with you on stream that was a good signing. That was a good signing. Credit where credit is due. There is something about the way Caruso plays. It's exactly what I was trying to say about Kade. It's just an aggressive, I am going to play as hard as I can, no matter how bad I get smoked on the last play. I don't care. I'm coming after you.
He just has a big heart, man.
That's
he
Caruso
has a motor.
defensively. Like, defensively, Caruso's on you the whole game long. That is like, you don't get players like that. That's why he was so good with LeBron. One of the best players, like chemistry-wise, ever to play with LeBron. And I've watched LeBron's whole career, like, with a magnifying glass. He's one of the best players to ever play with LeBron, like, purely fit.
Yeah, and that's another reason I was so bullish on the Bulls is because of Caruso. I thought Caruso. I knew he was going to be a good addition off the bench. Giving you, even if it's 9 points, he might come in late and hit 2 threes and get 2 steals and run all the way back on defense and be very, on that defender. I mean, on that offensive player.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of guys like that. And then you got Lonzo, Vooch, DeMar, Zach. They all have different type of styles. See, those guys you were naming, they kind of have the same type of flow.
Could you imagine, though? I'm sorry, Bulls fans, to rub this in your face. Could you imagine if they hit any of their picks, dude? Oh, my God. They would be so nice. Laurie, Wendell Carter Jr., Kobe White. I mean, that's 3 top 10 picks. None of them
They're going to trade those guys, though. They're going to get one big piece.
I mean, Laurie's gone. Wendell is gone, too.
Yeah,
I mean, Kobe White.
He's not worth nothing. He's not worth anything. I'm sorry. He doesn't get enough minutes, and he's like, I mean, you might as well have Frank Ntilikina on your team. As a Knicks fan, you might as well, except Frank Ntilikina could play defense really well. Like,
I just think the Bulls need one more big.
Tough, dude.
They need a big. If they can get like an Aaron Baines maybe or someone like that and get him out of retirement, if he is still in retirement, I'm not sure.
Aaron
Baines?
Can get some. No, plays for. Does he play for Detroit?
Is
crazy?
No, you're thinking of Kelly Olynyk, I think.
Oh, I am thinking of Kelly Olynyk. Wow, I thought those were the same people there for a second. Sorry.
Wait,
Plays
He's
for the
playing for
Raptors.
Australia, I think.
Playing for the
Yeah,
Raptors.
He's playing.
He plays for the Raptors. Oh, geez.
Oh, who
Oh, he
last played
does.
for the Raptors?
Oh,
Let's see.
that
But
was
if they can
2 years ago.
get a guy like that who's not scared for defense, man, like they could probably throw him and Vooch out there as interior, because Baines can hit some shots too on pick and pops. I think that would be a nice addition. He has
About
experience.
Robert Williams.
Rob, I mean, it could
Lord?
happen, but
Yeah, your guys'
It's just
season
he-
is not looking too hot. Maybe trade him and get something out of it.
I think we could turn it around. I think.
I'm just kidding.
it's
I think you
coming to
guys
a-
can too.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a big. I wouldn't be shocked if we try to go after Towns or somebody and get rid of Robert. Rob Williams is very good. Not trying to get off subject, but
I mean, this is perfect. I was going to ask you guys about my favorite team to watch in the league right now, the Boston Celtics.
let's talk about it. I mean,
They are in fun games. I'm not like, that's kind of not a joke. There's been a couple that were pretty bad, but most of them have been pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, I think before we talk about them, I do want to mention one more rookie. I think Franz Wagner is another one that I think we should talk about. He's been really good. You know, watching a little bit of the highlights, just even now on the screen. Again, this guy to me, like, you know, a lot of people were, you know, thinking like, oh, maybe Jalen Suggs, and then Franz Wagner's like, yeah, it's a good addition. I thought it was pretty good, but I wasn't expecting kind of like his versatility being so complete at this point in his career, or even just this point for the Orlando Magic. He's like, to be honest, he's the only bright spot I feel like for Orlando at the moment.
I'd say Cole Anthony too, but he's definitely been the bright
well, you have
spot.
to remember the guy who drafted Jalen Suggs and Franz Wagner is the guy who drafted Giannis. So he knows what he's doing. And look at his body transformation.
Yeah.
I see a photo right here. His body transformation is like Giannis-like. So
I mean, the thing with Franz, that's just like nobody gave him enough credit for it. It was the reason I liked the pick as much as I did. I thought he could have gone a little higher. He can shoot the hell out of the ball. He can shoot. I mean, dude, there's not many dudes that are as big as him that can shoot like that. There's not. There's a couple. So,
Porzingis when he was booming, but
he's better now than Porzingis is.
Yeah, way better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has way more upside.
Yeah, there's not many. I mean, like you said, Bernie, him and I would say Cole Anthony too have definitely been like that clip. I know I'm behind you, but just watching him dribble down the court, running the coast to coast and passing out, like dude, that's skill for a big guy. A lot of these kids don't have.
I mean, he's also quick too. I mean, I just saw you'll see it probably in a little bit, but the play where he missed the shot, then relocated to the corner after, you know, someone got the rebound, and he was quick to get behind the 3-point line and shoot. I mean, that's vital, or that's very vital in this league to be like really that guy. And then he just dunked over I think
he's 7 foot tall too.
I think he just dunked over Towns, maybe. No, dunked over who number 8. I don't know who number 8 is on the Timberwolves, but you know, man,
Franz, he could, if he had a team to where he can be the centerpiece, he can average 20 right now.
I mean, he's not far off. He's
really not. I think you were talking about number 3, and I think that's Jaden McDaniels. I think
number is it number 8 or number 3?
Oh God, it is number 8. Now I just saw the clip. I saw the wrong clip. Whatever. I don't know who the hell that was. It was number 8 on the Timberwolves.
Well, let me put some respect on number 8's name.
Let's find him. We gotta know who number 8 is. I feel like we're gonna kick ourselves for not knowing who this is.
I don't think it's Jaden McDaniels. I don't think.
Nah, Jaden McDaniels is number 3. I thought that's it. I watched an earlier clip.
Jared Vanderbilt. There you go.
Oh goodness. All right, take the respect back. Let's move on. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Jared. Sorry. Let's talk Celtics. I'm excited for this one.